My parents told me to pack my things when I told them I was pregnant and I was taken in by my uncle. But when I finally turned things around, my parents came back, trying to take away my daughter in the most extreme way possible. So I retaliated with the exact same thing. Growing up, I was told to never ask about my Uncle Mark. Every time I did, my mom would say, "That man is no longer part of this family." When I asked why, my dad just shook his head and muttered something about sin and shame. We went to church twice a week. I wore dresses down to my ankles, and anything outside the word was forbidden. No dating, no dancing, no questions. The only thing worse than disobeying God was dishonoring the family name. So when I turned 17 and started sneaking around with my boyfriend, a senior, I told myself it wasn't wrong. He said he loved me, that we were soulmates, that if I didn't want to do it, he'd wait. But the waiting never came. He pushed. I gave in. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know that love wasn't supposed to feel like pressure. A month later, I missed my period. Another week later, I was staring at 2 pink lines in a gas station bathroom stall, my hands shaking so badly I nearly dropped the test. When I told him, he went silent. Then he said, "I'm not ready to be a dad." I never heard from him again, but that was nothing compared to what happened when I told my parents. My mom cried like I had died. My dad just stared at me and said, "Pack your things." They called me a disgrace, said I was tainted, that I was trying to ruin their lives with my filth. I slept in a park that night with everything I owned shoved into a gym bag. By morning, my aunt had posted about me on Facebook. "Pray for our family. Sometimes the devil gets in too deep." Every comment was a sermon. Every like was a nail in my coffin. Then I got a message. It was from Uncle Mark. The profile photo was a man with a silver beard, smiling next to a golden retriever. He wrote, "You don't know me, but I know you. And I think we both know what it's like to be erased. You have a place to stay if you want it." I stared at the screen, my chest caving in. I replied, "Uncle Mark?" He answered, "Yes. And no matter what they say, I never stopped being family." He picked me up an hour later. I hadn't seen him since I was 4. His apartment smelled like lemon and books. He handed me a key and said, "Spare bed is yours. Bathroom's through there. No judgment allowed in this house." I broke down crying. Later that night, I found a photo in the hallway. It was me, age 5, in a pink tutu. He'd kept it all these years. We sat on the couch, me with swollen eyes, him with gentle patience. "They said you were dangerous," I whispered. He chuckled. "I was just gay. They said you abandoned us." "Number?" I was told not to come back. I asked him why he reached out. He looked at me like it was obvious. "Because you needed someone to believe you deserved more." Over the next few months, he taught me how to budget, how to apply for prenatal care, and how to cook something other than instant ramen. He never asked questions I wasn't ready to answer, never judged the stretch marks or the night terrors. He just made space for my pain, my healing, my future. At 7 months pregnant, I got a call from my mom. "Your uncle's filling your head with lies," she spat. "You're ruining this family." "No," I said. "You already did that." She hung up, but Mark didn't. He was there when I screamed through contractions. He held my hand while I cried in the hospital. He took the first photo of me holding my daughter and said, "She looks like hope." The day we came home from the hospital, I found a gift on the kitchen table. It was a framed photo of all 3 of us. He smiled at me and said, "You don't owe anyone shame." Now, my daughter's nursery is painted sunflower yellow. Mark reads to her every night. And for the first time, I don't feel broken. I felt at peace. Or at least, it was peace. Until my parents came back into the picture. I was just getting used to our new normal. My daughter Lily was 3 months old, and I was finally figuring out how to function on 4 hours of sleep. Uncle Mark had been amazing through everything. He'd even helped me get my GED while I was pregnant, studying with me late into the night when my back hurt too much to sleep. He'd quiz me on math problems while I folded